Hey folks, my name is Tatiana. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, The Ethereal Entertainer. Today I will be doing some astrological tarot readings for the month of December of 2022. Let's see how we're going to finish out the year. Let's see what we've got in store for this holiday season. So I'm going to be featuring this Modern Witch Tarot deck. Absolutely infatuated with this deck. It's available on Amazon if you feel drawn to this one. I will also be pulling a bonus oracle card for each astrological sign. This is the Rose Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. Super fond of this deck as well. I hope that you get as much enjoyment out of it as I do. I love the depictions in this deck. It is fantastic and so beautiful because I love roses. One of my favorite flowers, hands down. So I also have some beautiful bracelets made by yours truly from my Etsy shop, The Ethereal Construct. We have beautiful yellow and opalite colored glass beads with the evil eyes. These are available now, so feel free to check that out if you're wanting to get some gifts for yourself or some folks that you love for this holiday season. But yeah, let's get started. All right, Cancer, so we're going to start with your Sun card placement. For your Sun card, we have the Death card in reverse. For your Moon card, we have the Wheel of Fortune. And then for your Rising card, we have the Six of Swords in reverse. Then as for your Oracle card, we have this lovely card here, the Rose Thread. All right, so I'm going to go through these cards and we're going to talk about what all these cards mean. All right, so Cancer, we're going to start with your Sun placement. We have the Death card in reverse. First and foremost, I do want to say this is not a scary card. This is not a card that's saying death is near or anything like that. I know that there is a huge misconception about this card as well as the Devil card in the tarot deck. So the Death card is associated with the end of cycles, situations, circumstances, relationships, things like that. Death is the end, not necessarily about the end of a life, but the end of a cycle, the end of things. And when the Death card is in this reversal position, it means that there's something that needs to end or should end, but you or circumstances around you, people around you may be prolonging it. Maybe there is a relationship in your life that you know is essentially like beating a dead horse, and the Death card in reverse is saying yes, that's true, and it's time to cut it short and move on to the next chapter. So do reflect on what your circumstances are, whether it be a relationship, a friendship. You know, maybe you've been holding on to a job for too long and you're just not happy anymore. It's just not paying enough or giving you the fulfillment that you were looking for. The Death card in reverse is saying to really reevaluate how you're approaching a situation and, you know, course correct so that you can make better decisions and find yourself in a better predicament really soon if you are willing to just end the things that are no longer serving you. So moving on to the Moon placement for you, Cancer, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is essentially that. Well, it's very self-explanatory. The Wheel of Fortune is just about things coming into fruition for you, things coming up and out of circumstances that you maybe didn't see for yourself. And it's like a card of pleasant surprise, if that makes sense, to be open to the possibilities, to the opportunities, and to the blessings that you may not be aware of that are out there for you. So the Wheel of Fortune card is about having an open mind. So maybe there's something that you've been dealing with or planning for, and you're just kind of like, things aren't quite going the way I want them to, or maybe you don't really know how things are supposed to turn out. The Wheel of Fortune is saying that if you keep an open mind, don't be too attached to having a certain outcome, and you will be pleasantly surprised at what is able to come into fruition for you. So this is a very good card. It's a card about open-mindedness, to opportunities and the things that are out there for you. So you may have been thinking about something or working on something and you feel like attached to a certain outcome. Like if things don't turn out this way, it's a failure. The Wheel of Fortune is saying that that's not true, that there are other ways, other perspectives or other visions of success that can be realized. So open your mind to that, open your heart to that, because you may find that what you were anticipating or what you were planning for is not as grand as what you didn't fathom, you know? So this is a good card. It's a very good card. Well, all the cards are good, really. But, you know, I'm biased. All right, but moving on to our Six of Swords for the rising placement Cancer. This card is in reverse. So the Six of Swords has to do with leaving things behind, moving on to the next chapter, moving on to the next thing, realizing that this, you know, this honestly, you know what? It's like the Death card in reverse. The Six of Swords in reverse is very similar to that, but in a smaller scheme. The Death card has to do with bigger chapter book type situations in our life, and then the minor arcana have to do with more like paragraphs and pages within our life. So this may be pertaining to maybe a little bit of a smaller or less life altering situation, but the notion is still there that instead of you being on this boat with all your things and being willing to make a transition, make a change and see what's out there for you, you are holding on to something or an outcome or some person and hoping for something that is not there, essentially. And the Six of Swords in reverse is saying that it's time to let go. Are you going to let go yet? Are you going to move on yet? Are you going to open your mind to something different? You know, because that's essential to growth. It's essential to going from being in the situation you are in now to the situation or circumstances that you want to be in, being in the relationship that you're in now to the relationship that you want to be. And maybe the relationship or the situation is not what you thought, you know what I mean? We have a picture that we have in our mind of what we want things to look like, right? And we get attached to them sometimes. We feel like if we don't make those things happen, if they don't come into fruition, if they don't look the way that we pictured them, that it's a failure. And that's not true. That's furthest from the truth. You know, there's so many ways that you can manifest happiness. There are so many ways you can manifest success, and being willing to let go of those ideologies or that, you know, that pretty picture you've painted for yourself, and be willing to pick up a different type of paintbrush and play with different color paints. You might realize that there are other things, other pictures that you can paint for yourself that are just as beautiful, if not more, you know, by simply being willing to open your mind to picking up a different craft, to, you know, putting yourself out there and finding different people, you know, different friendships, different relationships, different jobs, different, you know, different from what you thought was supposed to be. So that Six of Swords is saying there's something that you know you should let go of, but you're not. And you got to be honest with yourself. When you see cards like this, it's like, what am I really like attached to right now that I could actually let go of? You know, this, be honest with yourself and address it so that you can turn this card upside down. That's upside down, turn it right side up so that you can move on to your next big venture, because you deserve to have many ventures in your life, many adventures, many trips, many, you know, accomplishments, not just the things that you're able to see. You should also be willing and open to what you can't see, what you can't fathom, what you didn't imagine, you know. But I think this is really cool because these three cards also coincide so well with each other. You know, the Wheel of Fortune, you know, being open to the opportunities that are out there for you, and just, you know, being open to the randomness of things. And then the Six of Swords in reverse, like, hey, be willing, be ready to let go. It's okay to let go. And then the Death card, hey, you're not trying to let go. It's okay to let go. You know, this is like, this 3-card spread for you, Cancer, is trust the freaking universe and trust yourself. You know what I mean? If you've been feeling some type of way about this relationship, about this job, about this project, about this home, about fill in the blank, these cards are telling you that your intuition is right and you should let it go. There's something out there better for you, even if you don't know what it is. It's out there. And these cards are saying it's out there. And open yourself up to it and it'll come to you and you'll have it before you know it. Okay, so moving on to our oracle card. So we have the rose thread. So I'm going to go through and just simply read the description that comes in the booklet that comes with the deck. And also they do have like different quotes and mantras and things like that. And I'll read that as well. The rose thread. Inner call, soul-led, the mystic, living courageously. This is the card of the mystic, the one who's in touch with the depths of the inner world and the interweavings of the world and beyond, way beyond. They're dedicated to listening to the mysterious voice whispering within, to following their intuition and living in accordance with that, to living by being guided by the rose thread. Following the rose thread means being dedicated to walking the way of the rose, to being in service to humanity and dedicated to writing a new story. It requires courage and faith and the willingness to pave a new path. The rose has been a symbol of the mysteries for thousands of years. The rose thread is the invisible path that the mystic follows. It takes courage to trust it, for the path is different for every single person. This is why it requires courage to trust the inner call. And those who do so find great reward. This card is a sign that you're being called to follow this initiatory path, led by the thread deep within. You may find that you're in a place of great change and you're being called to have faith and gather up the courage to take the next step. This card is a sign of encouragement to keep taking the next step. It's acknowledging the courage it takes to live a soul-led life and honoring you for always taking the leap. Rose transmission. Even when things feel unclear, especially when they do, I trust that I am always led from within. If that is not the most correlated, like all signs lead to north reading. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I hope that you really enjoyed this and got something fantastic out of this reading, and that the holidays are good to you and that you step into this new year with rejuvenation, with feelings of abundance, and you manifest wonderful things for yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you back really soon. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell so that I can see you back in January for your next reading. Bye!